this whole thought process came spur of the moment, and after having a walk and some time to really like sit and plot out my thoughts, I really considered the fact that caring for other people is simply not worth it. When you think about the idea of why you should care about somebody, why is that? When somebody asks you that, what is the first thing that come to your mind? Because they love me, because they care for me, because they take care of my kids, because they always look out for me financially, so and so, so and so. These things are all emotionally motivated. I'm a logical thinker. I do not think with emotions. It took a while. I used to be an incredibly emotional thinker, but growing up and just developing my own way of thinking, I've turned out to be a logical person. So when I run into other emotionally motivated people, we clash because I will speak logic and my logic will make them emotional to the point where they don't want to hear what I have to say. Even if it is the truth, even if it will better them in some type of way, they don't want to hear it. So these are my reasons of why I think you shouldn't care about people. Number one, and it took me a while to really grasp this thought, but the number one reason you should not care about people is because people don't even care about themselves. Just think about that in its entirety. People do not think about themselves. Of course, people's definition of, caring for themselves is making sure they go to work and making sure their bills is paid, pretty much. When you think about it, when you think about the definition of caring for yourself, hey, I got a roof over my head, I got money, I pay my bills, I'm a hard worker. That is why people care for themselves. At least 85, 90%. Just think about that. Most people don't even go to the doctor unless there's something wrong with them. But you got to take your time out the day to text them because that shows that you care. Or you got to take your time out the day to make some type of grand notion to them to prove to them that you care about them when they don't even care about themselves. Do you feel me? It could be 1,000 articles being posted about how fast food is dosed in toxins and slowly killing you. And guess what people will do? People will scroll right on past it. Do you know why? Well, the reason why people do that is because it does not interest them at all. It does not arouse their thought processes at all. The top three things that people are concerned with right now are gossip, entertainment, and murders. It seems fucking crazy, doesn't it? It seems mind-blowing. But that is the truth. In this day and age, people are more motivated by gossip, entertainment, and murders than informations about their own well-being. They will scroll right on past it because it's not important to them. Do you think fast food companies care about you? No. Why do you think most of the fast food establishments are in the hood or in low income areas? I give you two main reasons. For one, the food is cheap. For two, the places are easily accessible. You think these multi-million dollar food establishment, food companies don't know about marketing? Don't know about how to sell to their customers? Just think about that. The people who's feeding you food don't even care about you, but you're eating their food every day. Whether it's Popeyes, McDonald's, Wendy's, Sharks, these people don't give a shit about you. It's all money motivated to them. You're just another body in another face. Literally. You got Wendy's with a 4 for $4. So let's just do some simple math. So if an entire meal from Wendy's costs $4, that would mean the unit price of each individual item would be $1. Literally, $1. So what does that mean? That means that If the company is selling you the entire order for $4, your question should be, how much did they pay for it? They didn't pay $1 for it. They paid 10 cents for 5,000 nuggets. Do you see my math here? Do you see my thought process? You're digesting something every day that only costs them about 10 cents per item to make. 10 cents or less. And they charged you $1 for it. Literally. Which means they're making about a 70 to 80% profit. A 70 to 80% profit, literally, off each meal. So if there's 100,000 people, even 500,000 people ordering this, you've made them millionaires. And you don't even know the first ingredient in what you're eating. You don't know, because you don't care. It's all intertwining into a purpose. You don't even care what you put in your body, but you want me to care about texting you. You want me to care about being relevant to you. You're not even relevant to yourself. You don't even care about your own body, let alone your mind. But let it be a story about a mass killing, or the next big rapper, or Kim K, or Kanye. Y'all know every detail from every single source. Every single source. People are so focused on nonsense that is consuming them. Literally consuming them. They fail to realize that their brain digests information just as the stomach digests food. It's that simple. Literally. It's that simple. Literally. And the more you feed your mind irrelevant information, the more it changes the way you think and the way you see the world. You sit all day on a computer, all day on your phone, scrolling through social media, ingesting information that you don't even know is real. This is what I mean by gossip or entertainment or murders. They are only aroused by these three things. And if you are aroused by these three things only, there's something mentally wrong with you. I don't want to talk about you because God is my own judge. I'm not going to judge anybody. But something is mentally wrong. It's mentally malfunctioning. It's not working right. If 85-90% of the world are people who think emotionally and that are common citizens, what do you think all the logical thinkers are? They're in your navies, your Marines, your armies. They're your bill makers. They're your politicians. These are the people who have literal training in thinking logical and not using their emotions because they have to make big decisions all the time. Just think about that. The people who we don't like and who we are saying are bad people and shouldn't be in office are also the same people who are logical thinkers. So, of course, an emotional person wouldn't understand the process of a logical thinker at all because you're thinking emotionally. You're not breaking things down, trying to understand why things the way they are and how things could be different by this, by that. You don't think like that. You react. As soon as you feel a certain way, people get angry. They want to fight. People get sad. They want to cry. They want to go into a shell. Logical thinkers don't do this. Or if they do, it's hidden so the world does not see. You never want people to know that you're emotional thinkers. Because if you're an emotional thinker, I can control you like that because your emotions control you just like that. You don't give yourself time and grace to think about your decisions before you make them. But for some reason, I should care about your new job. For some reason, I should care about your new car. For some reason, you want me to care about a vacation that you went or the fact that you just got a BBL. Now you want everybody to double tap and like it. Like, just the mentality of our people is so corrupt. It's going to be extremely hard to even get back. So, if I, a logical thinker, continue to inform my fellow emotional thinkers about a different way they can do things better, and those emotional thinkers still choose their own route, why should I consider to care? Here's an example. I've owned at least 5 cars. I've owned 5 of my last cars, cash money, owned them. If my friend is in debt bad and doesn't have good credit, but wants to put $5,000 down on a new car at a dealership, even though they know that they can barely afford the monthly payment, they want to go ahead and put $5,000 down on a brand new car with very poor credit, which they already know it's a possibility that they can't afford the monthly payments or will just have enough every month to afford the monthly payments. Here's an example. As a friend who's been in this position already, I'm going to try to tell my friend not to go that route. But their response is they want a new car because a new car is more reliable than a used car. Now, because that is a logical idea, I can't invalidate that response. But because you're emotionally attached to the idea of having a new car, you won't even consider any other options, even if it means working to just pay for the car. Even if that means every day you wake up and every paycheck you get, most of that check is going to go to your car. You don't care as long as you have a new car. That is an emotional dependency, an emotional attachment. You are thinking with your emotions and not logically, not what makes sense. What makes sense would be to buy the car flat out for $5,000. That makes sense. Regardless if it's used or not, you didn't check your other exterior factors to see if it aligned with the whole conclusion. You have bad credit. All you have is the $5,000 down. Not to mention, your percentage, your interest rate is going to be at least 20% because your credit is bad. So that $25,000 or $24,000 car, you're probably going to end up paying almost $32,000 because of interest rates. And it's probably going to take you between 5 and 10 years to pay that because you're already in debt. This is just logical thinking. Why do most people do that? Why do most people think because they get an increase on their pay or they got enough money right now that it is a good decision in the long run to buy something that's extremely expensive? Because of what it makes them feel. Not saying that emotions don't matter, but they should not be the first and foremost thing that you think about. You should want to think logically first. And it's like, people don't care about what's good for them or better for them anymore. They care about how they look while doing it. They care about what people see. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. We all open our eyes, and from that moment when we open our eyes, we all have our own decisions to make. We all have our own decisions we choose to make. So if you made the choice not to chase your dreams, if you made the choice not to believe in yourself, if you made the choice to not keep in contact with me, if you made that choice, why should I care? Why does it matter to me? The point of the matter is it doesn't. But people continue to concern themselves with things that's none of their business. Why do you care? Then it's just like you got, for example, our people, our own people, me as a black man, you have our own people killing our own people. You don't see everyday white people killing other white people, but you see black people killing other black people on a consistent basis. Literally a consistent basis. So it's just like, why do you think that's happening? It starts with the infrastructure, if you were wondering. It starts with the household, with your mother and father. Some people didn't get the privilege to grow up with a mother or a father or one or the other, but it starts there. I don't care if it's grandma, auntie, it starts there. So if they're not mentally stable, and if they don't know mentally right from wrong, then your child isn't going to know it either. Stop thinking that just because you feed this kid, you put a roof over his head, and you put him in school, that you are being a parent. That is not parenting. That does not show that you care for your kid. Caring for them is making sure they have mental health. Caring for them is also, when they come home, you're teaching them about their own history and you're teaching them things outside of the school. Because we've known for a while now that the institutions are not dependable with teaching us information we need to know besides reading and math. That's it. That's the only thing that I felt has always been relevant in a school. Learning how to read and doing math. Because those are the things you use every day throughout your life, even when you're out of school. But when they start incorporating history into it, that's an issue. The school system does not care about the people that they produce into society. If you look up histories, when the school institutions first started, their main goal was to turn the students into basically factory workers. Teach them how to follow instructions. That's what the school system was for. You can look this up. When the school systems originated, the main purpose for a school system was to teach them how to be assets fundamentally to factories, how to work day jobs, 8-hour shifts. That was what it was for, to teach you to follow directions. That is continuously what it's doing. History being taught in the school is nothing but a lie. You don't know about any good part of a black person's history until you start taking African American studies and stuff like that. Then you really start understanding our culture. But in everyday social studies and everyday history in this nowadays institutions, it's all about white Europeans doing great miraculous things. And the moment we get to our own people and about black people, we start in slavery. They don't care about the information that they're teaching all sorts of people. Really, this information is for the white Europeans because they want them to know it. Because this is the history that they've created. Black people are not supposed to know this history because this is not our history. But they don't care. That's why I don't care about the school systems. That's why I don't care too much about the teachers that teach the classes. Because these people are not woke either. These people, not to discredit anybody, but these people went to school to literally teach what they didn't learn from a book. Just think about that. Your teacher, in whatever school you went to, learned everything that he knows from another teacher that taught him from another book. Do you feel me? Nobody has a sense of self-identity. Nobody. Everybody is following the next person and doing what they feel is right instead of thinking logically. You got these baby mamas laying with these dudes that don't give a shit about them, but because it feels right, they're going to have sex with them. 9 months later, here comes the child. Now you two have been beefing, or he don't want you no more because you were thinking with your emotions. You didn't ask the proper questions. Does he have a job? Does he really love me? Can he prove that he loves me? Is he going to be consistent? Is this a man that I want to lay down with? You don't ask these questions. So, hence, your kids grow up without a father because you were not a good mother. And then you also were not a good mother because your mother wasn't a good mother. And then her mother wasn't a good mother, so she wasn't able to teach her in order for her to teach you. And it just trickles down and trickles down and trickles down and trickles down. Then you, not being a good mother, is going to teach your kid how bad of a mother you actually are. Then he's not going to know how to treat a woman. Then he's going to grow up and be exactly like the father that left him. Hopefully that's not how it goes, because I did not end up like that. But I can't say the same for everybody else, because usually that is how the story goes. People think because they don't have the resources or the knowledge to do things that they can't do them. That is not the case. The research is out there. I am a person who's changed. I am a person who's grown up without a father. I am the person who's grown up in the hood. But I want it different for myself. I am a person who has sold drugs. I am a person who has been locked up. But I have done differently. I choose to be different. I choose to move this veil away from my eyes and see. Why won't you? Why won't you? Care about yourself. Care about you. Because when your rent is late, guess who's gonna have to sort that out? You. When you ain't got no car and you gotta get somewhere and you can't take the bus or the bus is not available or you ain't got no money, who you gonna have to depend on? You. Who you gotta care about? You. Who is gonna care about you when shit going wrong? And why do these people care about you? Can you give me a reason that isn't emotionally motivated? Not because you love them, not because of how they make you feel, none of that. Give me a reason why you care for people. Is it because of what they do for you or what they can do? And if that is the case, which is also a logical response, when they stop doing these things that make you care for them, do you still love and care for them? That is my whole thought process. If there is a logically motivated reason for why you care for somebody, if they chose to stop doing that thing that makes you care for them, will you still care for them? Some people would say yeah, some people would say no. The people who say yeah, why? Is it in hope that he will do better? Is it in hope that he or she will be a different person later down the line? So now it goes back to feeling, because you feel that they will change or you feel that they will get better. So you're going to continue to love them. But if they never do, then what? Then they regret it.